One thing that I notice that's not talked about a lot in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive space is how to deal with burnout. And so I wanted to make this video kind of as a sequel to my mentality video, especially with the ending of the national season for 2024-2025. And so the first thing I want to discuss is what is burnout and how to detect that you're feeling burnt out. Burning out means that you find a lack of compassion in the things that you enjoy. It could be work, it could be a hobby, it could just be life in general. And a few ways to detect whether or not you're feeling burnt out is you feel more critical about the game that you enjoy. You feel lethargic about even thinking about playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Going to local seems like a hassle for you. You feel bored, you don't feel challenged by the game anymore. You know, those kind of symptoms of burnout. And so one of the ways that I personally deal with burnout when it comes to playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I just take a break. It could be anywhere from a week break to kind of just reset yourself, refresh yourself, rest from the game, or you can even go longer. You can go a month, 6 months, a year, a couple years. You know, none of those are bad options, because I know a few people that go to my locals who have told me, yeah, I stopped playing around this time. I was feeling pretty burnt out of the game. I took a few year break and then came back, and now I'm starting to enjoy the game again. I'm starting to build myself back up. The next thing you can do is do anything else besides play Yu-Gi-Oh! It could be finding another hobby. It could be even playing another card game, because let's be real, Yu-Gi-Oh! Can get expensive, especially if you're a hyper-competitive player, traveling all the time, having to buy new staples that can range anywhere from $40 to $100 a copy for staples. And so I think taking a break from the game and doing anything else, it could be playing a new video game, a new series of video games, or just playing a different card game in general, can help alleviate some of that fatigue and burnt out feeling that you feel when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself. Because again, another example that I have is I know someone who recently picked up, or I shouldn't say recently, they picked up Commander in Magic the Gathering. And they were like, okay, I'm enjoying this a little more than Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me find what I like from Yu-Gi-Oh! And make that into a Magic deck. And then that helped them realize, oh, this burnt out feeling I was feeling with Yu-Gi-Oh! Was because of the playstyle I used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing a new card game can also give you that sense of discovery and how you truly feel about playing card games. Because even for me, recently I picked up the Hololive card game, and it's kind of giving me a sense of fulfillment again with card games in general, because I was getting tired of constantly spending $100 here, $100 there on Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, when I picked up Hololive for $20, like full out-of-the-box structure decks for $20. And so the last piece of advice that I wanted to give you for dealing with burnout in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is quitting. And first, I want to say, there's nothing wrong with quitting the game, especially if you're feeling burnt out. There's a lot of aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now that can cause your feeling of burnt out. And there's nothing wrong with it. It could be the pricing, it could be how tournaments are handling their policy, especially with the new time rules that kind of got revealed accidentally. It could be the changing of Time Wizard to whatever new time format they're doing for historical Yu-Gi-Oh! It could be any factor, and just know that your feeling of being burnt out and wanting to possibly quit the game is valid. There's nothing wrong with it. It's no one's fault. It's not your fault. The only fault that there might be is Konami for how they handle the game in your eyes. And again, that's 100% valid. So I just wanted to end off this video by saying, if you're feeling burnt out, it's okay. It happens in life. It happens in any hobby that you may participate in. Hell, me being a big sports guy, even I get a little burnt out with sports sometimes, especially with how certain sports organizations handle their games. And so, if any of this was helpful for you, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and down below in the comment section, mention how you've possibly dealt with Yu-Gi-Oh!, burnout, or just burnout in anything that you do. Any piece of advice is welcome. I'll be reading it, and possibly it could help others who go down in the comment section and read it. So have a good day, and remember, it's okay to feel burnt out.